They said gray paved the way, chased the rain, released the pain, least you sane, getting paid, trend setting, brighter days, doper raps, tighter sets, high and deadly, I'm a fighter jet, journey came.
What's really good, ladies and gentlemen? I think this is show number 4. A lot of crazy things we felt like talking about. This one is NWA74. Unfortunately, we see EC3 versus my guy Bram, Thomas Latimer, right? And I'm like, dope. You know, my guy's going to be able to put that work in. They both know each other from Impact Wrestling. They are very familiar with each other. So you knew the chemistry would be good and going into it. But then what transpired after that? Now, what I will say before what transpired after that, there was a video that came out. Obviously, they wanted it to leak, where EC3 went over to Camille with the CYN shirt. Like, here, you want a CYN shirt? And she was like, nah, why do I want one of those stupid shirts for? And I was like, huh, all right, you already know what's going to happen. They're going to beat up her man, right? Like, her husband. So, the end, we see, don't ask me who any of those 3 guys are. No idea who the 3 CYN guys are. But they put, they mauled up Bram. They put the beats to him. And CYN looks like they're doing an official takeover on N.W.A. They took one of their prominent guys out because when N.W.A. first came out, we seen James Storm, we seen Thomas Latimer, Nick Aldis. There was a few of them that you would consider mainstay guys. And Thomas Latimer obviously got taken out. And I was like, you know what? Not for nothing. I kind of like this angle because if they're smart and like, let me tell you, I've talked to EC3 plenty of times from being in the Impact Zone. That is a smart guy. Like, he's wrestling smart. He understands psychology. He understands what needs to be done. And if I wish I could be like, you know what, dude, make Thomas Latimer part of CYN to go against N.W.A. Like, use one of their guys to go against them. Rough them up. I hope they have some. Because remember, at one point, EC3 was filming everything in like a warehouse or something like that. Use that. Use your control your narrative beginning to kind of lead way to visionary into this NWA thing. And I think that could be really cool if they do that right. But once again, we don't know how much they're allowed to do because, politics does get involved. Talk to me, my brother. Talk to me.
All I know is this, man. When I saw that angle, I was like, holy shit, this is worse than GWF with Jeff Jarrett trying to take over TNA. Okay, this was worse than that. And I thought that was bad. This topped that. For the simple reason was I didn't know who the 3 guys were.
Yeah.
Where the hell was Braun Strowman at? But then we found out later, that he might be going back somewhere else. So your biggest name is not there. Where is Austin Aries? Austin Aries been down with CYN since day one. Where's Flip Gordon? He's also part of CYN. Where all these guys? Why didn't they bring the big names out?
And I need to cut you off because when you started saying that, I was like, there's a few names that, obviously we know Killer Cross went back. He's been part of CYN. But we just seen Wrestling Is Now, and you were at the event where you watched Jacob Fatu versus Joey Conway. Joey Conway is part of CYN. So I was wondering, wow, he has a look. And remember when we did the interview with Joel Maximo, he said his name. We had no idea who he was. And he was surprised we didn't know. He was like, wow, you guys don't know? So I did my homework that night, and he's a very aggressive. He has a very he's just a wild looking dude. And I was like, yo, how is he not a part of it? And like you said, Flip Gordon, how is he not a part of it? Austin Aries, I'm not sure, because let's be honest, Austin Aries doesn't have the greatest rep in the world neither. So people might be like, you know what, I'm cool with everybody else you got, maybe not Austin Aries. I don't know. I'm just saying, there's always been some buzz around him not being a good locker room guy.
Yeah. So unless you're saving those guys for later, for like a pay-per-view match, and you start bringing them every episode coming out, since now they're doing all the tapings for the next 3 months, you could start seeing those guys coming out every couple of episodes. Oh, they got a new member.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Esco is here. Oh my God, Conway's here. Build that way, and then for the like you said, a N.W.A versus CYN type of deal thing, I could see that. But when you don't have the big names and you're having to do a takeover with a bunch of nobodies that nobody knows, because back then when GWF did the takeover, I didn't know who Matthews was. I didn't know who Trevor Lee was. I'm like, who the hell are these people? Like, I don't know who these people are. And then they started wrestling and said, okay, I like Trevor Lee. All right, cool.
Yeah.
I like this guy. I like that guy. But when they came out, I was like, who the hell are these people?
No,
And CYN has no, CYN has no type of, I don't want to say following, but no type of advertisement.
Yeah,
I don't know if I said it
it's
right.
still very brand new.
Advertisement. Yeah, because there's no TV. They don't do anything. I mean, I haven't seen a show yet, but they had shows at WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
I never heard anything what happened after that.
No, I've never seen video of it, so I'm not sure. I mean, I know someone I can ask to know. I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna talk to my guy, see if we can get some kind of video footage of CYN stuff.
But the thing is this: why, as a wrestling fan, why should I care about CYN? You know what I'm saying? If I've never seen anybody, the only person that I will know there is EC3. If I'm just a regular person.
That's where I'm biased to CYN because remember I lived in the Impact Zone. My kids were big EC3 fans. So I'm very biased to EC3, and I want to see EC3 succeed. I want to see EC3 be the guy I knew he was. Like, to me, EC3, if done right, and I don't know, he went for the bag. That's cool. If I was Impact, I would have threw the same amount of money WWE threw at him and been like, look, you're our guy. I mean, he beat Kurt Angle. He beat Bobby Lashley. Like, he was a force. So, and he's such a cool guy in person that I was like, I love this guy. He's good people. Now, I do agree with what you were saying with GFW and CYN, that there's a lot of guys you don't know. And with GFW, what you seen on TV didn't make sense to how I seen it. Because when I seen it, Sanjay Dutt came out off the rip. How Impact showed it, Sanjay Dutt did not come off the rip. So when you see Sanjay Dutt come out, you're like, holy shit, X Division legend, and he's coming out with all these other guys. So you don't really care who, at that point, I didn't know who the hell Brian Myers was or Trevor Lee, but Sanjay Dutt's there. Sanjay Dutt's walking with them. So you're like, oh, okay, cool. I think that CYN has a really cool opportunity if this is done right and both look strong. Like, you can't obviously have them, they have to dominate for a little bit. You have to have CYN come in and do what they do. But I do think you need Flip Gordon. There's a guy, and I always mess up people's names. I know his first name is August. I think his last name is like Aturios or something. He's a local guy out here, super talented. Like, I think in 3 years he's big. Like, I think he's definitely a mainstay in AEW, Impact, MLW, N.W.A. Like, kid is super talented. They have him. They have Joey Conway. There's guys they have, and if they market this right, we could learn who these guys are. It just all depends on how N.W.A. allows CYN to come in and keep doing what they do. But I do think that EC3 should be less on TV for CYN on N.W.A.'s part and let his goons do more of the work.
Yeah, I mean, they got to do something because, like I said, if I'm a typical fan, I don't know anybody that was there except for EC3. So, and then you're expecting Braun Strowman, and he's not there. I mean, like, hold on, I think he was part of EC3. Man, really, but I mean, for me, unless they start showing me something in the next 2-3 weeks of, we got some new guys, CYN people that I know, I will lose interest because, like, what the hell do I care about this? There's like nobody I know. So,
I'll give it. I'm gonna give it some time because you know me, I like the aggressive angle. I like the takeover kind of things. It feels more urban to me. But like I said, if you just keep showcasing EC3, there's no need. We know the star he is. we know who he is. He doesn't need to be on TV all the time. I would like him more as kind of like the Kevin Nash or Hogan, where he's kind of the star and you let everybody else do your running for you. Like I said, I'm excited for it if it's done right. Hopefully it is, because like I said, Corgan, as much as I'm not a fan of Billy Corgan, he's done some really cool. He's done some really cool things with N.W.A, and not for nothing, I'll give him his flowers to what it needs to be, because he doesn't have an off season, and he's worked through COVID like everybody else has worked through COVID. He found a way. So there's no excuse why you can't be on TV if you consider yourself a major or whatever you want to say. So N.W.A could do it, then everyone else can do it. So salute Billy Corgan. Huh.
Yeah, I don't know why they still haven't got a TV deal. I mean, they use YouTube for the hell. So they use, and they also have the Fight TV. So, you go to fight them there with the app. But I'm really surprised him having so many connections, and especially in the music business.
Oh.
You think they'll be on Access TV, since it's a music channel. It should be on Access TV, you would think.
I was thinking, now hear me out. The problem is, and it's no disrespect to Nick Aldis. Nick Aldis is not a star. He's a star. He's not a mega star. He's not a household name where you're like, oh, that guy's the shit. He's a must see, right? Trevor Murdoch is not a must see. Tyrus is not a must see. Like, you got three guys that I'm naming, and Aldis has smoked the two of those guys. And Aldis with a pulled hamstring, a broken vertebrae, will out wrestle these guys any day of the week. Like, I just need him in a wheelchair and he'll put the work in.
All I know is this: this was the worst main event of two guys, because both of them were so out of shape.
It was rough.
They made me feel good, and I'm out of shape. I'm like, holy shit, these guys are just, one guy is just big and the other guy is just
that
looks like a cable guy installer, which is Murdoch. I just couldn't get into it. I couldn't see it. Like, what is this? Like, again, we ran out of guys to put on TV, so we got to put up these guys that are just like, everybody fat shame, body shame. I don't give a shit. I'm fat. I don't care. Those two guys should not be champions. Well, they're champions. They should not be main eventing shit.
No.
But they were main eventing something. So that right there tells you the talent pool when it comes to different companies of who can we get with what we have money.
Yeah, and I'll leave it with this, because I agree with you. With someone like Billy Corgan, who's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, how Billy Corgan can't pull enough connects to say, yo, put me on MTV, put me on VH1, put me on something where music was prominently known for, and let me get on there. Even if MTV is not what it used to be, and VH1 ain't what it used to be, it's still a TV network deal. You still get revenue coming in.
CMT, the Country Music Network, it still works.
Yeah.
BET might take you. They ain't shit on BET no more. They might put some wrestling in there. Like you said, you're a rock and roll Hall of Famer, and you're still making music and singing. You mean to tell me not one person you can hook you up in one of these music TV channels? For God's sakes, if Impact Wrestling could be in the Sam Houston channel, or what was his name, your favorite fisherman? Jimmy Houston, and they could be that shit. You could be there. At least it's something.
That's my guy. That's
Jimmy
my guy.
Houston. I can't still believe they had that shit on there, man.
Listen.
This must be called the Planet Channel or something, but this is on shit right now.
Listen, for myself,
it's bad when Jimmy Houston is your lead into your show.
Jimmy Houston is arguably the greatest fisherman of all time.
Whatever. For sure. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, no, true, yes. That's what I'm saying. He's your lead-in. He's your lead-in to your show. That was crazy right there.
You know what? For myself, the big homie, we out of here. Deuces.